What if I told you that everything you've been taught about success is wrong, not just slightly off, completely wrong? You've been told it takes a miracle, a lucky break, or a 20-hour grind to change your life. But what if I told you the real secret isn't luck, isn't talent, and isn't endless hustle? It's 1 hour, just 1 hour a day, 60 minutes. An hour that you stop giving away to the world and start giving to yourself. That single hour can rebuild your body, sharpen your mind, grow your wealth, repair your relationships, and reshape your entire future. And the best part, you already have it. You've just been spending it on the wrong things, on distractions, on noise, on everyone else's life but your own. So today, I'm giving you the framework, the blueprint for transformation, how to reclaim just 1 hour a day and use it to become unrecognizable in a year, not in theory, but in practice. This is not about motivation. This is about strategy. This is about becoming the kind of person who takes control of their time, their habits, and their future. If you're ready to stop drifting through your days and start building your life, stay with me. Because by the end of this message, you'll know exactly how to turn 1 hour a day into the most powerful investment of your life. Let's get brutally honest for a moment. Most people don't control their time controls them. Think about how your day usually begins. You wake up, reach for your phone, and within seconds, you're reacting to the world messages, emails, social media, news, noise. You haven't even had a sip of water, yet your mind is already occupied with other people's agendas. And before you know it, the first hour of your day, your most powerful, creative, and unclaimed hour, has been stolen. And you didn't even notice. But here's the truth that few people will tell you. The first hour of your day decides the direction of the next 23. If you give it away casually, you set the tone for distraction, fatigue, and reactivity. If you guard it fiercely, you create a foundation of focus, energy, and purpose that carries through everything else you do. This isn't just motivational talk. It's science and psychology. Your brain is in its most malleable state during the first hour after waking. This is when your subconscious is listening closely, when your willpower is at its peak, and when your actions can either set you up to lead the day or be led by it. So the question becomes, what are you doing with that hour? Are you feeding your mind junk food, endless scrolling, meaningless updates, and the digital equivalent of empty calories? Or are you feeding it strategy, clarity, and habits that align with the life you're trying to build? If you're not intentional, the world will be happy to fill your hour for you. Social media platforms spend billions designing ways to capture those minutes. News outlets want you hooked on fear and outrage. Other people want you available to their needs before you've even addressed your own. This is why reclaiming your first hour isn't just a nice idea. It's survival. Why the first hour is sacred. When you wake up, your mind is in a state called theta. This is where deep learning, visualization, and reprogramming your subconscious are most effective. In plain terms, this is your prime time for rewiring your brain. But instead of using this golden window to feed your goals, most people dump chaos into it. Gossip, email stress, algorithm-driven content designed to keep you scrolling, and they wonder why they feel stuck. Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, said it best. You either control your mind or it controls you. There is no halfway. If you win the first hour, you win the day. And if you win enough days, you win the year. That's how transformation really happens. How to take back the first hour. Reclaiming your first hour is simple but not easy. It requires a decision. 1. Set a non-negotiable wake-up time. Not one based on your mood or convenience, but one based on your future. It doesn't have to be 5 a.m. or some arbitrary grind culture number. It just has to be earlier than the chaos of the world. Wake up before emails, notifications, and demands start flooding in. This is your quiet hour. Protect it. 2. Don't touch your phone, at least for the first 60 minutes. Your phone is not a neutral tool, it's a portal to distraction. The moment you open it, you're in reaction mode. Instead, leave it in another room. Give your mind a fighting chance to set its own agenda. 3. Move your body. Your energy for the day begins with circulation. You don't need a 90-minute workout. Stretch. Go for a walk. Do 20 push-ups. Just get your blood flowing. This signals to your brain that you're awake, alive, and ready to attack the day. 4. Feed your mind. Read 10 pages of a good book. Listen to something educational or inspirational. Journal your thoughts. Write your goals. This isn't woo-woo. It's training. You're giving your brain clear instructions about who you are and where you're going. 5. Visualize your future. Take 5 minutes to picture the life you're building. See yourself achieving the goals you've set. Feel the emotions of success. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between visualization and reality. It starts believing what you tell it repeatedly. The shift in identity. At first, this won't feel natural. You might resist. You might tell yourself, I'm not a morning person. But let me ask you, are you willing to stay the same person just because it's comfortable? Transformation doesn't care if you're a morning person. Discipline doesn't care if you feel like it. This isn't about your preferences. It's about your identity. When you take back your first hour, if you're making a statement, I am no longer living on autopilot. I am designing my life. And over time, that identity compounds. You'll start walking taller, thinking sharper, speaking with more confidence. Not because life magically got easier, but because you decided to claim the hour that everyone else wastes. Your challenge, the hour that changes everything. Starting tomorrow, take back the first hour of your day. No negotiations, no excuses. Guard it like treasure. Even if you start small, 20 minutes of reading, 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of planning, you will feel a shift. And as that hour becomes a habit, that shift becomes transformation. Because here's the truth. Your life will not change in one giant leap. It will change in one intentional hour. Repeated over and over until you become unrecognizable. And it all begins with reclaiming the first hour. You've claimed your first hour. You've made the decision. But now comes the real challenge, keeping it. Because here's the hard truth. The moment you decide to take ownership of your time, the world will try to take it back. Not with malice, not with obvious sabotage, but with distractions that feel harmless, the quick reply, the urgent favor, the it'll only take a minute interruptions. And before you know it, the hour you fought, for the very hour that's supposed to transform your life, has been swallowed up by the same chaos you were trying to escape. That's why reclaiming your first hour isn't enough. You have to guard it like treasure. The thief of growth. Let's get honest. Most people don't lose their time to big emergencies. They lose it to small thieves, notifications, conversations that can wait just one scroll. You don't hand over your hour in one chunk. You give it away in 3-minute increments until it's gone. And that's the danger. Distractions disguise themselves as harmless, but they're not harmless. They're assassins of momentum. Every time you break focus, you don't just lose the minutes you spent on that text or that notification, you lose the mental energy it takes to get back in the zone. That's called attention residue. It lingers, it lags, it drains. And if you let it invade your sacred hour, you kill the power of that hour before it even has a chance to work for you. Your hour is sacred. Think of your hour like a vault. Inside it is everything that will create the future. You want better habits, sharper skills, deeper clarity, stronger confidence. If you wouldn't let a stranger walk into your home and steal your savings, why do you let distractions walk into your morning and steal your future? Napoleon Hill said it plainly, time is your greatest asset. Waste your money, and you can earn it back. Waste your time, and it's gone forever. That's why this hour isn't casual. It isn't extra. It isn't something you do if nothing else gets in the way. It's non-negotiable. This hour is not for your boss, not for your emails, not for the world. It's for you, and until you treat it like gold, you'll keep trading it for crumbs. How to defend your hour. So how do you actually protect it? Here's the blueprint. 1, schedule it in stone. This isn't someday I'll get to it. This is on your calendar like an important meeting, because it is. Treat it with the same seriousness you'd give to a job interview or a client call. 2, build a fence around it. Turn off your notifications. Put your phone in another room. Block access to email or apps during that time. Create an environment where your only option is to grow. 3, communicate your boundaries. Tell the people around you, your partner, kids, roommates, what you're doing and why. Not to push them away, but to help them understand this is your sacred time. Over time, they'll learn to respect it because they'll see what it's producing in you. 4, prepare for battle the night before. Don't waste your precious hour figuring out what to do. Lay out your book, journal, or plan ahead of time. Know exactly how you'll spend it so you can drop straight into growth mode without hesitation. 5, avec zero flexibility. This is where most people fail. They tell themselves, I'll make it up later. No, you won't. If you keep your hour optional, it will disappear. Make it as non-negotiable as brushing your teeth. Why this matters more than you think. You might be thinking, it's just an hour. Do I really need to defend it this fiercely? Yes, because this hour is more than just time on a clock. It's a symbol. It's the difference between being reactive, living by everyone else's agenda, and proactive, designing your own. It's the training ground where you're building the identity of someone who follows through, who creates, who leads. And here's what you'll notice. When you start fiercely protecting this 1 hour, you'll start protecting other parts of your life too. Your time, your energy, your goals. They all rise to the same standard. You become someone who doesn't get pushed around by distractions, someone who knows their priorities, someone who values themselves enough to fight for their own future. The golden rule of the hour. Here's the rule. If it doesn't grow you, it doesn't get your hour, period. This isn't time for mindless scrolling. It isn't time for busy work. It isn't time for reacting. This hour is for building your mindset, building your skills, building your health, building your future. Everything else can wait. The ripple effect. When you start defending your hour like treasure, something remarkable happens. The people around you notice. They see you more focused, more present, more alive. And they start respecting your time too. You're no longer the person who's available for everything and accomplishing nothing. You're the person who knows what matters and lives like it. And that energy, disciplined, intentional, purposeful, spreads into every corner of your day. Your challenge: build the fence tonight. Prepare for tomorrow's hour. Decide what you'll do. Set the environment. Tell the people who need to know. When the hour comes, step into it like you're stepping into a vault full of gold, because you are. And when the distractions come, and they will, remind yourself, this is my hour. I do not trade gold for crumbs. Do this for 1 week, then 2, then dry sick days, and watch what happens. You'll not only have an hour, you'll have a habit, a standard, a whole new way of living. You've claimed your hour, you've defended it. But now comes the most important part. What do you do with it? Because let's face it, activity without direction is just glorified busy work. You can spend an hour running in circles and still end up in the same place. You can fill your time with random tasks, inspirational content, or productive distractions, and still not move 1 inch closer to your dream. That's why direction must come before action. Napoleon Hill called it definiteness of purpose, the idea that every moment you invest in yourself should be linked to a clear, meaningful goal. Without it, your hour becomes noise. With it, your hour becomes a weapon. Don't just move. Aim. Think of this hour like a bow and arrow. If you grab the bow and start shooting without aiming, you waste arrows. But if you pose, breathe, and aim at a target that actually matters, every shot counts. That's how you must treat your growth hour before you dive into reading, journaling, or working on your project. I'll take a moment to ask yourself 3 powerful questions. 1, where am I going? What's my ultimate goal, my North Star, the outcome I want to see in 6 months, a year, or 5 years? 2, what step can I take today to get closer? This hour isn't for vague effort. It's for meaningful progress. Pick 1 concrete action that moves the needle. 3, why does it matter to me? Your why is your fuel. When the resistance hits, and it will, this reason will keep you in the fight. Write it down. Don't just think it. When you put it on paper, it transforms from a fleeting idea into a commitment, the most dangerous trap, confusing movement with progress. Most people think they're working on themselves because they're busy. They read self-help posts, listen to podcasts, or brainstorm for hours. But busyness isn't growth. Here's the hard truth. You don't measure progress by how much you do. You measure it by how much closer you are to your desired outcome. Scrolling motivational content for an hour might feel productive, but did it build a skill? Did it sharpen your mind? Did it move you toward your goal? If not, that hour wasn't invested. It was spent. And in this game, there's no refund for wasted time. How to bring direction to your hour. So how do you make your hour count every single day? 1, define the outcome. Before your hour begins, set 1 clear objective. Don't just say, I'll read today. Say, I'll read 10 pages of Think and Grow Rich and write down 3 action steps I can apply. 2, Use the 3-2-1 framework. 3 minutes. Get clear on your goal for the hour. 2 minutes. Visualize the outcome you want. Picture yourself finishing this hour strong. 1 minute. Breathe. Get centered. Step into the moment with intention. 3. Track your direction. Keep a simple notebook. At the top of each hour, write your purpose for that session. At the end, reflect. Did I accomplish what I set out to do? Why this will change your life? Here's the secret. When you start your hour with intention, you start your life with intention, you stop drifting. You stop reacting. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You begin to move like someone with purpose. And that purpose rewires your brain, your habits, and ultimately, your identity. This is how ordinary people become extraordinary. They don't work harder, they work with direction. Your challenge for today, tonight, before bed, write down exactly how you'll spend your growth hour tomorrow. Not in vague terms, be precise. If it's learning, what will you learn? If it's building, what will you build? If it's health, what exactly will you do? Then when the hour comes, I don't think execute, because a man with direction doesn't wait for inspiration. He creates momentum through intentional action. And here's the beautiful part. When you stack enough of these purposeful hours, your life stops being random. It becomes designed. If you commit to one thing in your daily hour, commit to this, feed your mind. Because here's the undeniable truth. Your life can't grow beyond the limits of your thinking. If your thoughts stay the same, your actions stay the same. And if your actions stay the same, your life stays the same. But when you dedicate just one focused hour a day to intentional learning, you begin to break those limits. You expand your awareness. You see opportunities you were blind to. You develop tools to solve problems that used to crush you. This isn't theory. This is what separates the successful from the stuck. The law of compound knowledge. Napoleon Hill once said, "An educated man is not one who has an abundance of general or specialized knowledge. An educated man is one who has so developed his mind that he may acquire anything he wants." That's the goal of this hour, to become a self-educating, self-expanding machine. Think about it. 1 hour a day adds up to 365 hours in a year. That's more than 9 40-hour work weeks devoted to building your mind, 9 weeks of reading, studying, and sharpening your skills, 9 weeks that turn into confidence, sharper decision-making, and the ability to create opportunities instead of waiting for them. That's not just learning. That's transformation. What should you learn? This is where most people get stuck. They say, "What do I study? Where do I start?" Here's the key. Learn what multiplies your life. Focus your hour on growth in these areas. 1, personal development books like Think and Grow Rich, The Magic of Believing, Atomic Habits. 2, skills that make you valuable communication, leadership, solace, writing, public speaking. 3, wealth and finance, study money management, investing, building assets, the things that create freedom. 4, health and energy, read about nutrition, movement, and mental clarity. 5, biographies of great people, learn how they thought, how they overcame obstacles, how they built their legacies. This isn't about random information. This is about information that changes your trajectory. Passive versus active learning. Let me be blunt, scrolling Instagram quotes is not learning. Watching endless YouTube videos without taking notes is not learning. That's mental junk food. Real learning is active. It's deliberate. It's the difference between sipping water and actually drinking deeply. Here's how you make your growth hour active. Take notes. When you read or listen, write down the key ideas. Ask, how can I apply this today? If it's not actionable, it's just entertainment. Teach it. Share what you've learned with someone else. If you can teach it, you understand it. Jim Rohn said it perfectly. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. This 1 hour is your university, and the tuition consistency. Prepare before the hour begins. Don't waste the first 10 minutes of your hour deciding what to do. Stack your materials ahead of time. Keep 3 books on your desk, 1 on mindset, 1 on skills, 1 biography. Cue up a podcast or audiobook if you're auditory. Bookmark the course or lecture you've been putting off. When the hour comes, you dive straight in. Why this changes everything. Here's the power of learning. It builds belief. The more you know, the more capable you feel. The more capable you feel, the bolder you act, and bold action changes your life. Knowledge multiplies. It compounds, and once you own it, no one can take it from you. So treat your growth hour like sacred ground. Don't just fill it, invest it. Your challenge for today: make a learning playlist for your hour. 1 book you'll commit to reading for 20 minutes. 1 skill you'll practice for 20 minutes. 1 reflection you'll do for 20 minutes, journaling what you learned and how to apply it. Do this for 30 days. And I promise you won't just be more informed, you'll be more transformed. Let's get brutally honest. Knowing is not enough. You can read every book in the library, watch every motivational video, take notes on every course, but if you never apply it, you're just hoarding information. Knowledge doesn't change your life. Action does. And here's the key. 1 hour of real, intentional practice is worth more than 10 hours of passive learning. Why most people stay stuck. Most people get trapped in preparation mode. They convince themselves they're growing because they're busy consuming content. But deep down, they know the truth. They're reading about the gym instead of working out. They're studying business strategies instead of launching. They're watching speeches instead of practicing their own voice. They confuse learning with progress. But the two are not the same. Theory makes you feel ready. Practicing makes you real. Turn knowledge into power. Napoleon Hill said knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when it is organized into definite plans of action and directed to a definite end. That's the difference between a dreamer and a doer. Your 1 hour has to include practice. If you're learning a new skill, don't just study it. Use it. If you're building a business, don't just plan it. Make the call. Write the proposal. Sell 1 product. If you're working on communication, don't just read about speaking. Record yourself. Deliver that talk. Action builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. Momentum builds results. The Learn to Reflect framework. Here's how to structure that 1 hour for maximum growth. 1. Learn 20 minutes. Pick 1 key idea, strategy, or skill to study. 2. Do 30 minutes. Apply it immediately. Build. Write. Practice. Create. No overthinking. 3. Reflect 10 minutes. Ask yourself, what worked? What needs improvement? What's my next step? This simple rhythm turns every hour into a growth session. Why imperfect action wins. Let's clear this up. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to be perfect. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Skill isn't born from thinking. It's born from doing repeatedly. Every time you practice, you get a little sharper. Every time you step into the arena, you shed a little more fear. Every time you show up, even when it's messy, you prove to yourself that you are becoming someone who follows through, and that identity shift, that's where real transformation lives. Your challenge for today: pick one skill or goal that matters most to your future. Want to write draft 500 words today? Want to speak record a 5-minute talk? Want to build a business, make one sales call, or design one product? No excuses, no delays. Do it in this hour. Because when you practice daily, you stop being someone who wants to and start being someone who does. This is the secret. You don't need 10 hours of theory. You need 1 hour of focused practice every single day. Do that for 30 days. And the person in the mirror won't just be smarter. They'll be stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. Here's the truth. No one likes to admit most people don't improve because they don't stop long enough to actually learn from what they did. They go from one day to the next, one task to the next, without asking the only question that really matters. Did what I did today actually move me forward? That's why reflection isn't optional, it's essential. Why reflection changes everything, Napoleon Hill said. Self-analysis is the greatest tool for personal growth. Without it, progress becomes accidental, not intentional. If you don't pause and evaluate, you don't grow, you just repeat. When you take 10 minutes at the end of your growth hour to review what worked and what didn't, you create a feedback loop that accelerates progress. Here's why this works. You identify your blind spots instead of ignoring them. You capture your wins so you can repeat them. You turn failures into lessons instead of scars. Reflection isn't about beating yourself up. It's about extracting wisdom from your experience. The 3-question daily review. At the end of your hour, grab a notebook or open a blank document and answer these. 1. What did I accomplish today? Even if it feels small, momentum matters. 2. What challenged me or didn't go as planned? This is where the lessons hide. 3. What will I do differently tomorrow? Action steps turn insights into progress. 10 minutes, 3 questions. That's it. You'll be shocked at how much clarity this creates. Refinement. The small adjustments that lead to big wins. Reflection without refinement is just journaling. You need to act on what you've learned. If your morning routine feels rushed, wake up 15 minutes earlier. If you keep procrastinating on a task, break it into smaller steps. If distractions are stealing your focus, adjust your environment. These aren't huge overhauls. They're micro adjustments, tiny course corrections that keep your life aimed at the target. Think of a plane flying cross country. It's off course 90% of the time, but the pilot keeps making small corrections, and it still lands exactly where it's supposed to. That's what you're doing here, piloting your life 1 hour at a time. Repeat the power of compounding effort. Reflection and refinement mean nothing if you don't do it consistently. This is where the magic happens. Day 1. You're experimenting. Day Sheba. You're improving. Day Shloshim. You're unstoppable. The process compounds. Your lessons stack. Your adjustments align. Your growth accelerates. Your challenge for today. Before you end your next growth hour, reflect on what you accomplished. Refine one thing, your plan, your environment, your execution. Then repeat tomorrow with the new insight. Do this every day for 30 days. And you won't just be working harder, you'll be working smarter. That's how ordinary hours become extraordinary results. Reflect, refine, repeat. Let's get brutally honest. What good is success if your body can't carry it? You can't chase your dreams if you're out of breath. You can't lead a team if you're running on fumes. You can't even enjoy the life you're building if you're constantly exhausted. Napoleon Hill taught that the mind and body are connected. One cannot perform at its peak if the other is neglected. And yet, most people treat their health like an afterthought. They say, I'll work out when I have time. But here's the truth. You'll never find time for your health. You have to create it. And the good news, you don't need 2 hours in the gym. You don't need a personal trainer or an expensive routine. You need 1 hour. Just 1 intentional hour a day, and it will change everything. Why, your health is the multiplier. Think about this. When you move your body, your energy skyrockets. When you eat clean, your mind sharpens. When you rest deeply, your decisions improve. Energy is the fuel for achievement. You can't create wealth, build relationships, or chase your vision if your tank is empty. Your 1 hour health investment pays you back in more ways than you can imagine. You'll work smarter because your brain functions better. You'll handle stress with a calmer, DISCLIAMER. You'll feel stronger, which builds confidence in everything you do. How to use the hour. This isn't about becoming a fitness influencer. It's about building a body that can support your future. Here's how you can structure that hour. 1, 20 minutes of movement. Walk briskly. Lift weights. Do yoga or dance. Just move your body with purpose. If you hate gyms, fine. Take the stairs. Do push-ups at home. The goal is consistency, not perfection. 2, 20 minutes of fueling. Use this time to prepare something clean for your body, a balanced meal or a nutrient-packed smoothie. Ditch the processed sugar, laden, quick fixes. Treat your body like it matters. 3, 20 minutes of recovery. Meditate. Stretch. Breathe deeply. Take a moment to quiet your mind and reset. Rest isn't laziness. It's a performance strategy. You can shift the timing to fit your schedule, but the key is intentionality. The warning you need to hear neglect creeps in silently. 1 skipped workout turns into a month. 1 I'll just grab. Fast food turns into 10 pounds gained. 1 late night becomes chronic exhaustion. Neglect weighs tons. Discipline weighs ounces. If you don't make time for your health now, you'll be forced to make time for illness later. The commitment from this day forward, your health hour is non-negotiable. Not because you want a six-pack, not because society says you should look a certain way, but because your purpose requires a body that can carry it. You're building a life worth living. Make sure you're strong enough to live it. 1 hour a day for your health. Move, fuel, recover. Do it not for the body you want, but for the future you deserve. Let's talk about wealth. Not the kind you post on Instagram, but the kind that buys freedom, creates options, and rewrites your family's future. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people give away their best hours to someone else's dream and then use their leftover time to scroll, bing, or complain about being stuck. They get home from work exhausted and say, I've done enough today. But have you only worked enough to keep things the same if you want to build a fortune? If you want to escape the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, you must reclaim 1 quiet hour every single day to work on you. The power of the quiet hour. This isn't just any hour. This is the hour after work, before bed, or whenever your world is finally silent. It's the hour where most people waste their potential, but where winners plant the seeds of a new life. Think about it. 1 hour a day equals 7 hours a week. 1 hour a day equals 365 hours a year. That's more than 9 full work weeks of focused time, devoted entirely to your growth, your business, your future. And yet, most people trade it for Netflix. How to use the quiet hour to build wealth. This hour isn't for rest. It's for building something that will outlast you. Here's how. 1, learn a high-income skill: copywriting, coding, sales, digital marketing, public speaking. These aren't hobbies. These are income multipliers that can change your earning potential forever. 2, start a side hustle. Write that book. Launch that online store. Build that consulting gig. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to start. 3, invest in your future. Read books about wealth. Study how money works. Set up automatic investments. Use this hour to shift from a consumer mindset to a creator, investor mindset. 4, create. Don't consume. Most people spend their evenings consuming, watching others build. You're going to create something that pays you back. The rule: build first. Relax later before you relax. Build before you unwind. Invest before you numb yourself with entertainment. Give 1 hour to your dreams. Because here's what will happen. At first, it will feel small, like nothing is changing. But give it a year. Suddenly, you've built a skill that pays you more than your job. Suddenly, that side project becomes a side income. Suddenly, you're no longer trapped in the same financial loop. Profits versus wages. Jim Rohn said it best. Wages make you a living. Profits make you a fortune. Your job pays the bills, but your quiet hour builds the fortune. This is where you create wealth that's yours, where you stop working just for today and start building for tomorrow. The commitment. From now on, your quiet hour is sacred. No endless scrolling. No wasted entertainment. No excuses. Use it to build something that will pay you in freedom, confidence, and impact. Because one day, when people ask you how you did it, you'll smile and say, I built my fortune 1 quiet hour at a time. Let's get real for a second. What good is wealth if you have no one to share it with? What good is success if your relationships are shallow, distant, or broken? You can grind all day, build a business, grow your income, and still feel empty at the top if you neglect the people who matter most. And here's the harsh truth. Relationships don't fall apart overnight. They decay 1 ignored conversation, 1 distracted dinner, 1 I'll do it tomorrow at a time. But just like you can build wealth 1 hour at a time, you can rebuild connection the exact same way. The forgotten hour. We often think relationships need grand gestures, trips, gifts, big events, but ask anyone who feels unloved, and they'll tell you it's not the big things they miss. It's the small ones. The hour you actually put your phone down and listen. The hour you play with your kids without glancing at a screen. the hour you check in with a friend or call your parents just to hear their voice. Presence is the currency of love, and you can deposit it 1 hour at a time. How to use the hour to build relationships that last one? Make it intentional. Don't fit people in. Schedule them like you would an important meeting, because they are two. Go deep. Not wide. One genuine conversation with your spouse, child, or friend beats 50 surface-level check-ins. 3. Put the phone away for that hour. The outside world doesn't exist. No scrolling. No notifications. Just presence. 4. Ask better questions. How was your day isn't enough. Try, what's been on your mind lately, or what's something you're excited about right now? 5. Create rituals: weekly coffee with a friend, evening walks with your partner, Sunday calls with family. Rituals make connection consistent, the return on investment. When you start giving people your hour fully, completely, something powerful happens. Trust grows. Walls come down. Love multiplies. And here's the part most people don't realize. Strong relationships make you stronger everywhere else. Your business thrives when your home is stable. Your focus sharpens when your heart is at peace. Your life feels full when the people you care about feel seen, heard, and valued. Your challenge this week: pick one person who matters to you and give them your full attention for 1 intentional hour. No multitasking, no rushing, just presence. It may feel small at first, but like anything worth building, 1 hour compounds. Over time, those hours turn into trust. Trust turns into deeper bonds, and those bonds become the foundation of a life that feels whole, not just successful, because at the end of your life, you won't measure success by the hours you worked, but by the hours you truly live with, the people you love. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine this. You dedicate just 1 focused hour a day to learning, to practicing, to connecting, to building. It feels small at first, almost insignificant. But here's the truth, it's not small at all. Do the math. 1 hour a day equals 7 hours a week. 7 hours a week equals 30 hours a month. 30 hours a month equals 365 hours a year. That's more than 9 full-time work weeks, all invested directly into you. Let that sink in. Why most people never see change. Most people underestimate the power of compounding time. They say, it's just an hour. What difference does it make? That's the lie that keeps them stuck. They don't realize success isn't built in giant leaps. It's built in quiet, deliberate, stacked hours. 1 brick at a time builds a wall. 1 hour at a time builds a life. And yet, they waste those bricks on endless scrolling, binge watching, or busyness that leads nowhere. The stacking effect, how 1 hour changes everything. Here's the secret. Small disciplines don't stay small. That hour you spend reading, it expands your mind. That hour you practice your craft, it sharpens your skill. That hour you invest in your health, it fuels your energy. That hour you pour into relationships, it deepens your joy. Every time you show up for that hour, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. And those votes, day after day, reprogram your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You start seeing yourself as someone who builds. Stacking is more than discipline, it's identity. When you consistently invest 1 hour a day, you're not just doing tasks, you're sending yourself a message. I am the kind of person who follows through. I am the kind of person who creates, grows, and leads, that's the true power of stacking hours you're rewriting. Who you are. How to make the stacking work for you, one. Claim your hour, morning, evening doesn't matter. Just lock it in. Put it on your calendar. 2. Choose your focus. Don't waste the hour. Decide what's the most important thing I can do for my growth right now. 3. Track it. Use a journal or an app. Every time you complete your hour, mark it. Visible progress creates motivation. 4. Guard it. No distractions. No compromises. Your hour is sacred. 5. Repeat relentlessly. Show up even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. Your future self is watching. Here's the thing. Time is passing whether you use it or not. 1 year from now, you'll either look back with regret or with gratitude that you started stacking today. If you start now, in 12 months, you'll be living in a completely different reality. Not because of luck, not because of some big break, but because you showed up for 1 hour every day. No excuses. And when you add up those hours, you don't just change your schedule, you change your life. Let me leave you with this. If you can control 1 hour, you can control your day. If you can control your day, you can control your future. And if you can control your future, you can rewrite your entire life. This isn't about being lucky. This isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. This is about making one powerful decision every single day. I will give 1 hour to the person I'm becoming. That hour becomes your edge. That edge becomes your momentum. That momentum becomes your new identity. You don't need a new year. You don't need permission. You don't need a miracle. You need 1 hour a day, fiercely protected, relentlessly used, and a commitment to never waste it again. So here's your challenge. Pick your hour. Claim it. Guard it like treasure. Fill it with growth, discipline, and purpose. Show up for it every single day for the next 30 days. Because 1 year from now, you'll either look back wishing you started or thanking yourself that you did. The choice is yours. If you're ready to take back your time, reclaim your future, and build the life you've been dreaming of, start today. Not tomorrow, not Monday, today. If this message hit home, subscribe for more Napoleon Hill-inspired lessons. Like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because your future isn't built by chance. It's built 1 hour at a time.